Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome one and all. As some of the keener of you may have noticed, I am with the inimitable, incandescent Vicky Poole of Tender Response. Now, we always talk about aspects of public sector tendering. That is to say, how to apply, what not to fall into, and today is no different. Today's topic is grants and funding. Now, I know nothing about this, so I'm looking for a little bit of a lesson. Talk to me, Vicky Poole.
So grants and funding are things that you can do to get cash injections into your business. The fundamental difference is funding, usually you have to pay it back. Yep. And then a grant, you usually get given the money and it's for you to physically do something.
So usually with a grant, let's say, it's not just give me a load of money because I fancy it. It has to be for a specific objective.
Has to be for a specific objective. It has to be capital costs only.
All right. So you're buying a thing.
You buy a thing. So things like you want your business to be completely sustainable and you want to roll out ground source heat pumping, but it's going to cost you 40 grand. You can save up the money, but it's going to take 8 years, or there is a local grant pot that you can tap into so you can get the money now. So that live example is things that are done under like the Rural Prosperity Fund, which is available through councils. So the way that you do that is you contact your council. You want to be speaking to your their grant person. And that person will vary in terms of their title across different councils. So it's not one shoe fits all, unfortunately. And they'll show you where the grant is. Now, most grants are available on like the council website. So if you type in the council and where your business is registered and look at, so for example, for me, it would be West Berkshire Council grants. For Gareth, it might be Cambridgeshire County grant.
Yeah, that'll be about right.
Yeah.
Or even Essex, I guess.
Or Essex. There you go. Essex County grants. And you'll find lots of different flavours. Now, grants are an amazing thing. All right. Because if you do something, and so you can get the ones where you're looking for investment to do something like putting in new windows, make your building more energy efficient. You also get the ones where you're looking to deliver value. And these are the ones that a lot of charities go for. So if you deliver like a value into the community, so for example, say you run a domestic violence charity and there is a well-being grant, you can apply to that well-being grant because you support victims of domestic abuse. And for that, it will be like, say, you're going to run so many workshops, provide so much training, and it's the physical aspect. You have to demonstrate.
So can grants go towards training that your company is providing or your organization is providing, or is it only in the circumstance of it being a charity?
Depends on the grant.
Right.
So every grant will have an opening statement that says, this grant is for, and then it'll either be for public sector bodies, third sector, charities, micro and small business to do ABC. So, for example, there has been a grant at Reading Borough Council. It's closed now, unfortunately. I'm waiting for the new ones to come up. So watch this space. I'll tell you when they're there. Where it was, it's training, it's development. And when you look back at the previous awards, so these are all the people that have received money from this grant in previous years, because some grants are every year. It's like, here's a pot of money and go fish. Some grants are every year. And when you look back at the previous years, about 90% of the funding awarded went to delivering training for vulnerable people and under the age of 25 individuals.
So, for instance, at the moment with another person, I'm putting together a basic entrepreneurial training and financial management for people just starting their own business.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that could be applied for a grant, I guess.
Well, Gareth, I love how you're getting some free consultancy here. So well done. There we go. So on this one, what I would probably do here is I would encourage you to speak to your local enterprise partnership. So the LEP, Local Enterprise Partnership, has been largely been disbanded, and they've come back as the insert area proprietary business fund. So there's the Berkshire Proprietary Business Fund. I swear they're just looking to find more complicated words for people to say.
They obviously don't like dyslexics. Well, go on.
Yes, and I preach. I'm dyslexic, and then I would, if it was me, I would offer that service through that fund, and then say for every person who goes through this, I would like this to be funded through this small business growth hub grant. Now,
right.
in all reality, there will be a business growth hub partner, which will be another business. So you end up selling to that business, and then they have the grant money, and then they pay you from the grant money that they've been awarded.
Right. Do you have to already show that there's a demand for such a service before you go for the grant?
You have to be able to meet the requirements of the grant. All grants, in the same way as if you're going to go for funding, which is where you get a loan, you have to be able to demonstrate that there's a need. So you have to demonstrate that there's a trend in the marketplace, or you can, if it was me, Gareth, I would probably look at how many businesses have been starting up in the last 12 months and how many businesses have been closing, and looking at the longevity of those businesses. If you get smaller micro businesses that fall inside of 3 years, they need more support. The argument there is, well, how they're going to get it? How much is it going to cost?
Right.
And what my invitation to you would be to do what all fantastic salespeople do, and to deliver a fundamental course for free. So here are the fundamentals on how to run a business. And then as part of that, offer the specifics on a one-by-one. If you want this, because these are the fundamentals for your business, but how you run a construction business is very different to how you run a bid writing business. And both of those are different to how you run a social media management and lead generation business, which Gareth does, and he's brilliant at it. Alrighty. So then it becomes, well, now that you've got the fundamentals nailed, what your next step is going to be unique to you. So we can talk about it generically in a class, but those actions are going to be for somebody else over you. So the best way to go about and do that is to have your own consultant, and then have a team of consultants behind you. So whilst you've kind of got that free service, you're effectively ending up marketing your wares to a continuous group of SMEs that are coming through the pipeline. Now, bear in mind that a lot of these businesses that do come through, like the growth hubs, for example, they are usually starting from scratch. They don't generally have a lot of money behind them, a lot of investments, and they are looking for skills, service, and advice. You're not going to get anyone subscribing there on, multiples of £10,000 a month investment. And that's just the nature of the business. Similarly, though, you can find some wares such as like Innovate UK, where if you have a really innovative idea, they will throw money at you. So, for example, GB Shared, which is an organization that I'm part of, I do their bid searches for one of their areas, and I'm also one of their bid writers, and I'll be their bid writer in London. Woo! So if you're a business in London that is looking to find more sustainable ways of doing business, have a look at GB Shared, or grab a bit of time with me. 15 minutes, we'll talk about GB Shared, and if it's a good fit for you, I might introduce you to Lisa, who's the woman who runs the organization.
Right.
So GB Shared they have an aspiration, a goal very similar to me, which is to make the public sector space a really simple and easy place for SMEs and councils to do business, right? So It's really, really simple. So that we really do kind of resonate with each other very, very well. They have a sustainable platform. Simply by being part of GB Shared, you're able to take off some of your elements for local procurement. And it is just really clever and innovative about how that works. GB Shared, they wanted to take their program and their platform from being locally in Lancashire, and then you got Mersey Share, Northeast Share. There's a bit of a trend here. and they wanted to make it GB shared, as in a national platform. And in order to do that, they needed some rather considerable funding. See, funding, not a grant, funding. And they went to Innovate UK, and they received a rather sizable chunk of money in order to develop this platform to create the UK's largest sustainable.
Yeah, but funding meant they had to pay it back, right?
They do have to pay it back.
But that's spread over a period of time, I guess.
Yes, it is. And there is an Innovate UK pot available at the moment. Innovate round 16 is on the go. It finishes on the 21st of August. I'm useless with dates. Don't quote me on the date. It's sometime in the middle to end of August. And there's another round. So those applications will be notified by January, February time next year. And yeah, if you're interested in doing any sort of like significant like development, innovation funding, yeah, let's have a chat about it, because that's really cool. That's really cool. I've got 2 Innovate Bids UK applications on the go at the moment. So it's a busy time.
I heard that Innovate, though, are very picky, and I think it was something like 5-6% of applicants actually go forward.
On the first application, yes. It could be as low as that. If you know what you're doing, it's significantly higher. Significantly higher.
Right. Well, I wish I'd known what I was doing. I had a mycelium-based business, and we fell at the first hurdle when going through Innovate UK. But as I said, this, guys, is a very pointed reason why having a chat with someone like Vicky can possibly make sure that you don't fall at the first hurdle. This is the best, really good number where you can ask those very basic fundamental questions, either about grants, funding, or public sector tendering.
So the question I normally get asked at this point is, well, where would I find the grants?
Right. Where would I find the grants, Vicky?
Thank you, Gareth. It's amazing that you asked that question. So there are 2 ways you can find your grants. All right. You can either get your grants found for you. So there is a little form on my website, it's a free form. I don't charge anyone for finding the grants. And I have a little business partner, friend of mine, who has a wonderful AI bot that trolls both public sector and commercial grants. Now, your details will be captured, because obviously we need to capture your details to have a look at the bots, to get the bot to run the program. And Tim and I will have a conversation with you. You'll get your grants. We'll give them all over to you, and you can make a decision from there about what you want to do. The other way to do it, if you're being really strategic with the grants that you want to go for, what I would do is I would come to tender response, obviously, and I would have a look at my grants. But I'd also get them sanity checked, just in case there are some grants in other hidden places that the tender response AI bot will miss. And to get those sanity checked, I would go to my local council, the council where my business is registered, not where not where I personally live, but where my business is registered. And I will have a look at them to say, I do bid writing, and I want to be able to share these skills with other people, and I want to help charities go for grants. What grants available are there for me to do that? And they will send me through, once I found the right person, of course, they will send me through the relevant grant list.
Right.
It usually takes a couple of weeks to get a response, because the council processes aren't as slick. They don't have like a wee little bot. And I would say that right now is actually a fairly good time of the year to start looking at grants. Most grants become available just before the summer, and then you get another round of grants that become available in December. So this is perfectly timed.
Wow. As usual, Vicky, Poole, giving me some knowledge I had no idea about before. It goes to show there are grants available to you, but it might be that you're actually looking for funding. If you're looking for funding, Innovate UK might be the way to go, but there are other funds available. Remember, you will have to pay that back, but obviously that's the payback period is elongated over a period of time so that you can ensure that the business that you've just funded is capable of paying it back. Amazing stuff. Of course, as per usual, there is further information on her website. I would like to draw your attention through to the resources thing, which probably doesn't have a lot about grants or funding on it. But if you go to the actual, but if you go to the website, there's a link there that you can find out more directly from there.
Yes, so at the weekend, so that will be from the, what's the date? From the 6th of July, there will be a how to write a successful grant cheat sheet that I am just finishing off. I was supposed to do it last week, but I ended up going to an event instead of my team.
But you know what? My new bywords for the moment, and I think this applies here, is do it properly.
Do it properly.
Don't do it half-assed. Don't have a stab at it if you know that by a little bit of advice you can do it properly. Thank you once again, Vicky. Very helpful. I'm just going to flash up the tender response WhatsApp number. Take advantage of it. Ask the questions. If you don't ask the questions, you won't find out the truth. Until next time, thanks for spending time with me today, Vicky Poole. Always a learning day. And remember that there are many things you may not have considered that can give you a leg up by way of funding or grants. Until next time we speak, look after yourselves and keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, and remember, look after that mental health. Bye-bye now.
Bye, everybody. Thanks.